Oh, you got me yawning. My back hurts, but that's okay. What's up, guys? Happy hump day. Yes, do the Humpty Hump. I think I said that earlier. Hi. It's been a really long day. Wednesdays and Fridays are my long days. That's my double dip to chip. So, like I was saying this morning, we're gonna kind of be on kids for a while. Cali. So Cal is where my mind stays. Uh, okay. Conversations with the kiddos, and I know I've been focusing on teen girls, but really, uh, in retrospect, males and females do both go through some sexual trauma and sexual assault, molestation, and things like that. So, creating that open dialogue with your kids about sex and sexual acts, but it has to be age appropriate. Um, I know there are many cultures and many religions where sex and sexual talk and all types of stuff is just kind of like a we don't do that type thing. But unfortunately, when you're not open with your kids about their bodies and about being comfortable with their body or creating a safe space for them to come have a conversation with you about what's going on with them, or if something ever happens to them, we're it's kind of like putting up that wall of it doesn't exist, or creating that space of, well, I'm not gonna feel comfortable coming to you and telling you if something happens because I don't know what's gonna happen. Like I was saying on what's today, Wednesday, Monday, my sex talk was um and I'm sure my mom was joking because I was really young. I was like, I don't know, maybe 10 to 12 when we had it. But as that young of a mind, you're thinking your parents are serious, especially when you're going through things. But, when you're ready to have sex, come talk to me and we'll talk about going on birth control, but you better never have sex because I'll break your legs. Like all that stuck with me was if I ever have sex, both my legs are going to be broken. So, you got to be careful what you tell your kids and whether you're joking or not, and just say you're joking because otherwise, yeah. But um, with my kids, I made it a point to be very open and honest with my kids to create that open relationship and bond that I wanted with them. But also because of the situations that happened with me, that I wanted them to have a safe space no matter what. So, very young, we started teaching them. My older two are 13 months apart. And when I was with my ex, he was already had custody of his two girls. So, I was raising four kids at one time, 7, 3, 1, and a newborn. That was fun being 22 years old doing that. Um, but one of the things that was my main focus as a mom was to create that safe space for the kids where they knew if anyone touched them in any way, shape, or form that it was not okay. So, very young, we taught them about 3, 4 years old, your private parts are yours. So, like for the girls, obviously, like the tatas, that's what we called it, and the hoo ha, and then your booty, and that was those were no zones. So if anyone touched you there, that you came and told mom and dad, and then we'd have that conversation because for whatever reason, kids are really weird, and they'd go around and be like, so and so smacked my butt. You touched me in my no zone, and I'm like, okay. So we had to nip that in the bud really quick, and we did, which was good. They learned butts are not okay. But having those age appropriate conversations, because when they're comfortable enough to come tell you if their brothers and sisters are just randomly hitting them with something, um, then that creates that relationship of if something ever happened, that they can come talk to you no matter what. So those age appropriate conversations starting very young. And then you have the whole, where do babies come from? I have to say, my older two asked when they were about 4 or 5, and we were in the van. We had a van. We had a minivan. I was a soccer mom. I had a minivan, and I think my now 16-year-old asked where babies come from, and I'm pretty sure I spit out my drink because I knew I was going to have the conversation of where babies come from, because I wanted to be open and honest. And at 20 something, you're still not thinking fully functioning. But so in my wise 20s, I told my 4 and 5-year-old that you came from mommy's vagina. And they think they spit out their drinks and went through the whole ew, ah, and so we went through that and then had to explain the whole mommies and daddies love each other, and um, we didn't go into the whole sex talk thing then, just where babies come from, and you're in the tummy and then you come out of mommy's pee-pee hole. I think is what we said, just trying to make it as age appropriate as possible. They still remember that to this day. So we had that. Now, the most recent child, which is our 11-year-old, my ex-husband sent me a text message saying that he asked where babies come from, and then asked, is that why mommy pooped on my head? So he got to have that conversation with his dad. That had me rolling in tears. But it's just about being open and honest with your kids so that they know and they understand. And sex is an awkward talk. It's an awkward talk for adults. Like when you start dating again and you're like, so what do you like? What do you not like? You know, boundary setting with kids is important. And that's where that step comes in of, this is your body and nobody needs to touch your body. And also, growing up, sometimes we're forced to hug or kiss family members, and that's actually breaking trust of the child, because if a child is not comfortable going to sit on Uncle Joe's lap, or if the child's not comfortable going to hug Aunt Susie, then you need to honor that child's energy, because they're uncomfortable for a reason, whether they're in a mood that day or whether, you never know what's happened and what's not. Sometimes things may have happened and they just don't want to be around that person. And as adults, we shouldn't be forcing our kids to go hug and kiss and sit on somebody else's lap. To me, that's not okay, because nobody should be forced to do something they're uncomfortable with. And again, maybe nothing happened. Maybe they're just in a mood that day, or throwing a tantrum that day, or just want to be on mom or dad's leg. And that's completely fine. But honor your kids' energy, because you never know. I mean, kids are so intuitive. Barb says, so true. Thank you, Barb. Even as an adult, more recently, within the last year, I was told by a family member to go sit on another family member's lap. I'm like, ew, no. Like, one, I'm grown. Two, that's highly uncomfortable for me. No, I don't care who it is. No. It's just not okay to do that. And it doesn't matter who it is, and you shouldn't be made to feel uncomfortable just because you don't want to go do that. And neither should a child. So no. Respect your child's wishes. Respect what they may or may not be feeling at that time. And it doesn't mean they don't love Uncle Joe. It doesn't mean they don't love Aunt Susie. It just means today, in this moment, that they're not feeling it. And that's okay. They shouldn't be forced. It just shouldn't be forced. Because it shows that you're not respecting their boundaries. And it is okay for someone not to want to give a hug or a kiss or anything. It's their body, it's their energy. So creating that safe space very young for them sets them up to being open to you as they become older. I remember the condom talk we had with my son. My ex-husband and I were still together at the time. It is something my family will never forget. It was all 5 kids involved, and we about died out of our seats as he was explaining how to put a condom on. We let dad take the role on that one. And then, you know, with as how open as we've made it for them, my son was able to come to me last year, as a matter of fact, and say, and I've said this on a few lives, that Mom, I have a friend who wants to lose their virginity, but they need some condoms. And my response was, what size? Extra small? I mean, they're like 15, right? So whatever. And that was it. There was no, oh my God, what are you doing? You guys are idiots, da da da. He's like, it's not me. I'm like, I don't care if it was you or if it wasn't you. But the fact that he could come to me and say, my friend needs condoms, I would rather them be safe than have someone get pregnant, than get an STD. We were in New Mexico at the time, high STD rate. Then have something stupid happen. They were responsible enough to come talk to me and tell me. And that's what 16 years of having an open relationships with my kids had caused. That was the ripple effect. He was comfortable enough to come ask me for a friend. So, and my daughter, the same thing. Her and her friends have come to me on several occasions for different things because there's no threat. There was an incident when my daughter was 12 where she was victimized, and thankfully nothing happened, but we had the relationship where she wasn't fearful that she would get in trouble or be questioned for what were you wearing, or what did you have on, or why were you hanging out with boys, or why were you doing this. It wasn't like that, and it shouldn't be like that. It should be so open and free. None of us would be here if our parents didn't get busy. From the beginning of time until now and beyond, there would be no humans if we weren't freaky. Okay, that's just the bottom line. So it just needs to be talked about and normalized to talk to our kids about so that they feel comfortable and free. Barb, thanks for taking on such a tough topic. I can't believe someone would ask a grown-up to sit on someone's lap. That's weird to me. Yes, and it was very weird to me. And very highly uncomfortable. Yeah, it happened though. So, man, all I can say is honor these kids, because our kids are our future, and a lot of us have been through hell and back, and it's about breaking those cycles and breaking the generational curses that have come through, and just saying, no, I'm not going to let that happen to my kids. I'm not, there's a reason why I don't go out much. There's a reason why I don't have a bunch of people hanging around my house. A lot of bad shit happened to me, and I refuse to let the cycle happen to my kids. It's just not going to happen. So, the kids come here, they have their friends here. Both my kids are dorks like me. So, they're popular in their own way, but the kids all come here and they hang out. So I know what's going on. They talk to me. They're open. Their friends call me mom and come tell me stuff that they're not comfortable telling their parents because their parents shut that door on them. So, man, just have that open bond and relationship, and it's okay. And it is awkward at first, but everything's awkward if you're not used to it. But to have the freedom to do that, and to have them have the freedom to feel comfortable and to even joke about it. I don't get awkward when my kids joke about that stuff, because to me, it's natural. We do it. And I'd rather them be open and joking than hiding something and my daughter get pregnant, my son get somebody pregnant, because I wasn't comfortable as a parent to have those conversations. That doesn't make sense to me. It's our responsibility to teach them and make them better than we were. So I wanted to have that conversation with you guys. And that will be part of the parenting side of the course with the teen girl group, on how to break the generational curses and cycles. And I'll be putting the calendar link in my comments if you want to make an appointment, an assessment appointment. But yeah, this is just one of the many how to be open and free topics. But I encourage you, if you're not having those conversations with your kids, that you start educating yourself and getting comfortable with being uncomfortable, because it later down the road, it's going to create a relationship that you, I want to say, enjoy. Because to me, there's nothing awkward about my conversations with my kids. And I smile and laugh every time they come to me, because I'm like, I did this. I created this. And I would love for other parents to just experience that. And it is awkward at first when you're not used to it or when you didn't grow up that way. But it is definitely worth it. So again, I'll put that link in my comment section. If you want to schedule an assessment call, classes will be starting December 8th. It is a Tuesday night. It'll be the teens class, and then it'll be the adults right after. So it'll be an hour long. I love you guys. Barb says you're amazing in the topics that you cover. You're a great parent. Thanks for all you cover. Thank you, Barb. Mwah. I love you. I know Graham loves you, and I know she's an angel on my shoulder, because, yeah. All right, my darlings. I love y'all. Have a wonderful, amazing night, and I will catch you tomorrow. It's Thursday, and we're almost halfway through November. Holy crap. Bye.